Hey everyone, it's Ryan, and I love to smoke. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Today I'm here with a cigarette pack that I picked up at a serious discount over the last couple of months, and that is the L&M Turkish Blend 100. So these are manufactured by Phillip Morris Tobacco Company, Altria USA, whatever you want to call them. And these are, these are a much older pack that I normally get. You know, they're picked up at clearance discount. So I paid substantially less than the state minimum for them, which I believe is right around $7. That gets me onto a tangent here. Starting July 1st in the state of Indiana, cigarette taxes will be $3 per pack instead of 99.5 cents that they are right now. Thank you to the Indiana legislature for expecting smokers to fund the state yet again. Now, on another tangent, this brand of cigarettes, L&M, is part of a continuing trend of tobacco companies taking brands that have been on the market a long time and repositioning them as a discount brand. So L&M originally was made by Liggett Myers, and then, over the years, they shuffled around to different manufacturers, finally landing at Phillip Morris in the early 2000s, who then discontinued them for several years and then about 15 years ago reintroduced them as a discount cigarette product. So, weird bit of history about tobacco in the United States. In 2006, a deal was reached between the tobacco companies and the United States government that they could not, any of the major manufacturers couldn't reintroduce a new brand that wasn't already on the market in 2006. So that explains how we got L&M repositioned as a bargain product. They've also done that with Chesterfield, which is also a Philip Morris product. And then on the RJ Reynolds side, Lucky Strike, which is actually working pretty well for them. So, Turkish is a slightly different blend than standard U.S. cigarettes. It's like a flavor profile, so I think it's heavier in Turkish tobacco, going to be similar to like that of a Camel. But overall pack design, it's not too memorable. It definitely went for a minimalist, artsy style cigarette pack. You can see up here at the top, there's the Philip Morris, L&M coat of arms. On the side of the pack here, we have the Surgeon General's warning. I'll hold that and see if you can get it. Top of the pack, L&M Turkish 100s. This side here, manufacturer's information and the barcode. It says here, for special offers, lm.com, restricted to eligible smokers 21 plus. L&M Philip Morris USA, Richmond, Virginia, pmusa.com. Please don't litter, 20 Class A cigarettes. And on the bottom of the pack here, it looks like these were manufactured, oh, Jesus Christ, in 2022. So 23, 24, 25, we're coming up on a 3-year-old pack of cigarettes. So had I not bought these at a discount, I'd probably be pretty pissed that they were 3 years old. So let's go ahead and open them up. Cellophane's peeling off nice and clean. There we go. Cellophane comes off the top of the pack. I'm going to put that in my pocket so it doesn't get blown away. Open up the top of the cigarette pack here. Okay, we got some silver foil. It says L&M on it. I'll hold it up and see if you can notice it on the camera there. Pull that foil out. And the front part came off clean, but it did rip some of the back foil. So as you can see here, we have cigarettes with a cork style filter on them. So we'll pull one out of the pack, get these closed up and set down. And so here we go. We have a cork style filter with a gold band and L&M written on it. Cork style filter, and looking at the tobacco, it looks medium to light. Hold that up there so you can see it. Maybe we can get a little closer. Cigarette's pretty crunchy. So this is going to be a fun review. Full disclosure, years ago, I smoked L&M Red and L&M Green for a couple of years while they were discount smoke because, you know, they were priced way cheaper. What I can remember of them, I didn't care for them too much. I thought they had a bit of a chemical taste to them, as do a lot of bargain cigarettes. But this one here, let's give it a fair shot. Smelling the cigarette, smells pretty sweet. Really does kind of remind me of a Camel. On the dry pull here, Dry pull does have a relatively pleasant, rich tobacco taste. So it could go either way. So for this review, I'm going to use my light blue disposable Bic lighter and black plastic ashtray that I leave outdoors, and it's getting pretty rough. So here we go. We're going to give the L&M Turkish Blend 100 a try and see how it tastes. You know, I can definitely taste that it's a little on the dry side, but not necessarily that it's like 3 years old. So that's a good sign here. So let's go ahead and test the body and see how it goes. Not a bad body on it. I didn't check. Um, I believe these are a full flavored cigarette, but let's see here. Yeah, I don't see any perforations on the filter, so this would definitely appear to be a full flavored cigarette. Let's go ahead and give it a deep inhale and see how it tastes and if it's got any harshness to it. Not bad. Not bad at all. The characteristic taste that I remember of L&M, these don't have it. These this is actually pretty nice. It is on the dry side. You know, of course, a 3-year-old cigarette, I'd expect that. But yeah, this is not what I would expect from a cigarette this old. Um, there is a decent taste to it, although I did just lose the cherry off the cigarette here. Let's relight it. That's one thing that you have to be careful with about old cigarettes is when that tobacco starts to get crunchy. If you ash it too hard, you risk losing the whole cherry off the cigarette. Um, something I've learned over the years, just, as I ash aggressively in the ashtray, or, if I'm in the car and I flick it out the window and lose the whole cherry. Lit back up okay. Doesn't seem to be burning very unevenly. It is burning relatively fast, I think. But yeah, you know what? Not too bad. For a cigarette this old, I would think it would be worse. Now, that's an interesting development here. I got a little bit of tobacco coming off the edge, and it just knocked off, and we're back to normal here. But yeah, you know what? This is not a very bad cigarette at all. I definitely say that for the price, certainly any cigarette now is expensive, but considering Marlboros here in Indiana hit $10 a pack late last year, for $7 you're saving a couple bucks, and these aren't too bad. We are starting to get near the end of the cigarette, so I want to make sure I get into the ratings before it burns completely out on me. Let's test that body again. Body's okay. It is a full flavored cigarette, although it doesn't have the massive body that I remember in some of the more robust full flavored cigarettes out there. So let's go ahead and give that a fair 8. Taste of the cigarette. Taste on the cigarette's not bad either. I'm going to go ahead and ignore the fact that it's a little dry because it's probably that the cigarette is old. But overall taste, I'd give it probably a solid, let's do a solid 7.5. It's not the best cigarette I've ever had. It's certainly not the worst. And burning characteristics, it burned a little faster than I think a full flavored cigarette should, but overall it did pretty good. So I'm going to give that an 8. Overall, L&M Turkish Blend 100s, I'm going to give this a solid 8. Not a terrible cigarette. Certainly a little cheaper than the average mainstream cigarettes here in the state of Indiana, but considerably more expensive than some of the bargain brands. So if I remember right, these go for about $7 regular minimum price in Indiana, versus my regular Smoke Lucky Strike Gold 100s. Those are right around $5.50 with tax. So these are about $2 more than my regular smoke. overall not bad. They're an 8, so you wouldn't be disappointed if you like a good cigarette that's got some flavor to it, but it's not overpowering. Um, if you smoke Camels, these might be a good alternative for you because they're a little cheaper. But it's worth noting here, you have to be 21 years of age to buy tobacco products in the United States. So if you're not 21 yet, you can't buy them. And if you don't smoke, don't start. Don't take this video as advice to start smoking. It is a habit that is extremely addictive and difficult to quit. I've been back and forth on the issue here for almost a year now on trying to quit. I cut down, I pick back up, I cut down, I pick back up. So if you don't smoke, don't start. Otherwise, you're going to condemn yourself to a lifetime of sitting outdoors just so you can have a cigarette, which really sucks if you live in an area that has a cold winter like we do here in central Indiana. So yeah, these aren't bad. I hope here over the next couple of months to get a few more reviews in. I did purchase a ton of cigarettes at discount prices, so I've got quite a bit of ammunition lined up for future videos. If there's a brand or variety of cigarette that you want me to review on this channel, make sure you leave it in the comments. I am happy to look for them if I can find them at tobacco stores in central Indiana. Plus, I have quite a few varieties on hand right now that I normally wouldn't have. So if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe so you can see me test out more cigarettes. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend.